What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing a Manchester City transfer update. We're rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the whole January transfer window for you guys to stay up to date with every single step of the way here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Now less than 250 subscribers from my goal of 41,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. We are aiming for 400 likes. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores, along with the latest match information, match statistics, and so much more. It's not just limited to football scores. You can go and check out all the sports scores that you guys love to follow, all in one place, all in one app. It's very highly rated, it's free to download, worthwhile checking out, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. So let's crack on with this transfer update. We've got no contract news to speak about, but we do have one story coming in from the outs, and it's an update on Jack Grealish. So the Sun, they're saying that we could see in the summer 3 teams battle for Jack Grealish. Tottenham Hotspur, they're believed to be the team showing the most interest. They've also held an interest in Jack Grealish for nearly 12 months. They've done a lot of research, a lot of digging, and he is a player of interest in the summer to Tottenham Hotspur. We also know that Newcastle United are interested. We've heard some interest coming in from Europe, from Germany, which has since been dismissed by Florian Plettenberg last week about links with Borussia Dortmund and Jack Grealish. We also heard Inter Milan's name being put out there, but a bit quiet on the European front when it comes to interest in Jack Grealish, but the Premier League interest is definitely there, and it's mentioning 3 teams rather than 2, so we know about Spurs and Newcastle. But catch this, the Sun are saying that, and you're going to like this, Manchester United are also apparently keen on bringing in Jack Grealish to the club, and it's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen. City aren't going to sell to Manchester United. There's no chance that Jackie G ends up at Manchester United once he leaves Manchester City. It's not going to happen, but nice little tactic, because this is an excellent way now, not just for Manchester City to ask for more money from a legit interested party, but also a great way for Jack Grealish and his representatives to ask for a little bit more money from potentially Tottenham Hotspur or Newcastle United. Now, if we do decide to sell Jack Grealish in the summer, it would take Jack Grealish to ask the club to leave, so that interest would have to be made public knowledge that these clubs are interested, and getting all the personal terms and everything agreed could be quite expensive. Newcastle may be able to afford it if they're not having as many problems in the summer with PSR like they've had in the last 12 months or so. For Tottenham Hotspur, can they afford Jack Grealish? Can they afford his wage? Because he'd end up being one of their biggest, if not the biggest, highest earner at Tottenham Hotspur, but also a big transfer fee. I know City aren't going to get £100 million for him that we paid for him a couple of seasons back from Aston Villa, but we still would want a big fee, because Jack Grealish, in terms of English football, is a big name, very much a very recognisable person, comes with English tax, of course, with Premier League experience, plays as an attacker as well. Manchester City would probably demand a lot of money. It won't be 100 million, but I certainly reckon that we're looking north of 50 million pounds for Jack Grealish. So we will see what does happen with that, and I think it's just something for me to keep my eyes and ears open for over the next few months about what happens with Grealish, because Grealish, his playing time is being limited. We've brought in Omar Marmoush in this window, so his playing time could be even more limited. Jeremy Doku, Savinho, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne even, they can all work on that left-hand side along with Omar Marmoush. So struggling a little bit for game time. Even Mateus Nunes a couple of months back was getting the nod ahead of Grealish. So I'll keep my eyes and ears open on that, and we'll see what does happen. But there's definitely interest from Premier League teams in Jack Grealish. So if he does want the transfer, it is potentially doable, but these teams would have to show Manchester City and Jackie G the cash. Now, moving on to the ins. I only got one story to speak about. It's all about Sverre Nypan from Rosenborg. Now, he's an 18-year-old central midfielder from Norway, plays for Rosenborg, who are open to selling this month for £10 million. Now, there's interest coming in from many clubs: Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Aston Villa. All their names are out there. Anyway, Fabrizio Romano said a couple of days ago that Manchester City were holding talks with Nypan on Saturday. He arrived in Manchester on Friday night, which was then dismissed by David Ornstein. So we're looking here at two of the most reputable, reliable transfer sources out there, who David Ornstein said on Friday night that Arsenal are keen, as well as other clubs. Now, this is interesting. He posted on his Threads account, rather than his big Twitter account, that Manchester City are not interested in signing Nypan, and he didn't on Friday night travel to Manchester, which I found really interesting because this was a real transfer battle happening between the two biggest and best, most reliable transfer journalists out there, with both these journalists saying very different things. Fabrizio Romano tweeting information that he gets from players' representatives and agents, with David Ornstein using his contacts that he has at the football clubs, who are saying two very different things. And to me, maybe something's mistranslated somewhere, but potentially some reputation being put onto the line. So I've kept my eyes and ears open on this, and we've had more developments on this in the last 24 hours because this has been really interesting. So Fabrizio Romano said yesterday, because someone asked him about the David Ornstein information, he said that he trusts his information, and his information is telling him that Nypan is in Manchester, talking with Manchester City yesterday, and City are going to propose that he becomes a Manchester City player, not a CFG player, and Manchester City want to loan him to another CFG side in Girona. He says Arsenal are also keen, along with one other club, which we now believe is Aston Villa. And Ole Sagbakken over in Norway is a journalist. He said that Nypan is going to speak with City and Arsenal, and he's also going to speak with Aston Villa, but it seems to be quietening down with links to Manchester United. So they seem, at the moment, out of the picture. It's a three-way battle between Arsenal, City and Aston Villa, with Manchester City getting first dibs on Nypan when it comes to talking with him, because at Manchester City's game yesterday against Chelsea, Sverre Nypan was pictured at the Etihad Stadium for Manchester City's victory over Chelsea by 3-1, and he was pictured with Erling Haaland's agent, who I do believe is also the agent of Sverre Nypan. That might give Man City an advantage, maybe it doesn't. We've got the Norwegian links with Erling Haaland, obviously using the same agent. We've got Oscar Bob, of course, another Norwegian international at the club, but Arsenal have Martin Odegaard, so they do have links to Norway as well. But Nypan was definitely in Manchester yesterday. He was at the Etihad Stadium, and he's definitely held talks with Manchester City. So Fabrizio Romano was correct, and David Ornstein was incorrect. I make that Fabrizio Romano 1, David Ornstein 0. Huge pull that from Fabrizio Romano. And anyway, I don't want this to get lost in translation. This does not mean that Nypan will sign for Manchester City. In fact, the emphasis has been put on there from all sources that the player has not decided, and he wants to speak with all interested parties before he wants to decide what to do. City have put their proposal forward. He's going to go and meet with Arsenal. He's going to meet with Aston Villa. They're going to put their proposals forward too, and I'm expecting a decision to be made before transfer deadline day for Sverre Nypan to make his decision. It's looking like it's going to be a Premier League team. It's a three-way battle at the moment. The race for Sverre Nypan very much on. Manchester City very much in the race, despite what all these Arsenal sources want to tell you. Manchester City are there. They're talking. The proposals are there. So we will see what Nypan decides to do. He's a central midfielder. He plays as a number 8. Think of him kind of like Ilkay Gundogan, apart from he's 18 years old and exactly the right age and the kind of players that Manchester City want to be looking towards, players that we can build a team around in the next 3 to 5 years, thinking long term, the potential new spine for Manchester City, and marrying up with what we want to do and what we've seen in this transfer window so far. Husanov, 20 years old. Hayes, 19 years old. Echeverry being brought up. I think he's 20 years old, so bringing in Nypan, 18 years old, into central midfield makes a lot of sense and matches Manchester City's ambition in trying to bring the average age of their squad down and looking towards the next generation, players that we could look towards in the next 3 to 5 years and build a new spine around, mixing in the likes of the experience, who are still pretty young, in the likes of Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. Very exciting. City are going to do everything they can to bring in Sverre Nypan. We've got a lot of competition. Arsenal's probably the serious competition, but I'm not ruling out Aston Villa either. So we will see. The race is on. City are there. Any developments, of course, I will keep you guys in the loop. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout this transfer window. So if you haven't already, do subscribe and press that bell and put your push notifications on to be notified immediately for when I do upload. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do leave a thumbs up. Like goal is 400 likes. Can we hit that? Any help towards that would be much appreciated. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. And I'll see you all again religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.